Welcome to the White Spring Bunker.
These halls were built to safeguard some of the most prestigious members of the United States government.
Now we are all that remains, though we are always looking for men and women capable of restoring what has been lost.
In return, we offer this, our refuge from the world above. Please, take your time and look around. Our assets have made great efforts to restore this place to its former glory.
Welcome, member, to our little enclave.
Greetings, members. As always, I am the Operative, your designated tour guide and host here at the White Spring. We present a very special episode in a new short series called Behind the Characters. Over the 3 seasons of the MODUS Files, we've had the distinct honor to work with a group of amazing voice actors who have brought our characters to life. This is an opportunity to hear directly from our cast as they introduce themselves, the characters they play, and their thoughts about our journey through post-apocalyptic West Virginia. In this episode, we'll hear from 2 extremely prolific voice actors responsible for some of the most iconic characters of the series thus far. Krissi Williams, the voice of Trader Red, among many others, and Chris Smith, who is both known as our Mel Blanc and Sean Bean of our show. So please enjoy an intimate conversation with these 2 wonderful voice actors, and take another peek behind the bunker as we learn more about our cast here on the MODUS Files.
Just where the hell am I?
You're dying, Red.
Well, shit. A long time ago, my pa once told me that I needed to get busy living or get busy dying. And I guess I managed to do both. It's a hell of a thing, life, that is. Seen my fair share of a good and a whole lot of bad. Try to do right by my kin, just like my mom and pa taught me. Blood is thicker than liquor, they'd always say. What to do when there ain't no blood left? Guess that's why I'm here. For at least a little while longer. Not that I was afraid of dying. Just never planned on my grave being in some godforsaken swamp in the ass into Appalachia.
Colonel? I'm taking your armor, Sergeant. I'll hold the bridge until you can get away. I should be able to slow them down. I need you to get everyone across and keep moving. Don't stop for anything.
Blaine looked at the Colonel and realized what she was saying. It only took him a moment to make his decision. Valeria, literally blindsided, never saw it coming. The punch to the face knocked her out cold and she fell to the ground. Stein rushed to her and looked up at the sergeant.
Why the hell did you do that?
You need her. She's the only one that can keep all this together. Stop what's coming. Major, please. Get her the hell over that bridge and get as far from here as you can. And tell the Colonel I'm sorry.
Blaine reached into his pack and pulled out his signature folded brim cowboy hat. A gift from his long-dead parents. He'd had it for as long as he could remember.
Give her this. Tell her to remember me. Or if she wants, she can court-martial the hat.
But...
Oh, I was born for this.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm not. Wait. But I am.
But you are, yeah.
That is why we are Chris Squared.
This is very true.
Hey gang, we decided for Chris and myself to do this little about the background of the actors. We do it together because we thought it'd be something fun to do. So I'll start. Is that okay?
By all means, please.
Just I restarted.
Yeah, carry it away.
I am Krissi Williams. I am a voice actor, clearly on the MODUS Files. I'm also on several different shows. But I voice Trader Red, of course. I also do, let's see, oh my gosh, this like happened over time. I do Emily. I do Vera, which I can never remember that I'm the voice of Vera, but somehow it keeps happening. Nancy, who was originally just called the secretary, so I didn't know that her name was Nancy. Don't
Dr. Williams, and I feel like I'm missing someone, but I'm sure it'll come to me. But I don't have nearly the same catalog that this gentleman has, so take it away.
Oh, well, yeah, that's me. I'm Chris Smith, and, well, I'm that guy who voices everyone, as we like to joke.
I believe we joke that we kill you all the time.
There is that, too. Yes, I am both the Mel Blanc and the Sean Bean of the MODUS Files, as I have been told on the Discord.
An accurate description, for sure.
Of course, Sergeant Jesse Blaine, rest in peace, spoilers. Ares, everyone's favorite Blue Ridge Guard. Of course, Vinny Costas, who just had a very unfortunate end. Very appropriate with Krissi here. Yeah,
up in the spoilers today.
Graham, Maul, all the super mutants. Well, those episodes are out. It's okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There's a statute of limitations on spoilers.
Yes.
I yell all the time. Mostly because I can't help but spoil things.
Barnes on Team Cryptid. Everyone's favorite asshole knight, Daniel Shin. Initiates. Lots of parts. I am very blessed to have so many characters entrusted with these pipes of moshing.
Yeah, I think out of all of the crew, you of course have the most, and I think I come in a second. And I have like
you've taken a lot of parts.
You're like 30. But yeah, I think it's always funny when Lawrence sends out the cast list and there's like Chris and Chris and Chris and Chris and Chris.
Well, it's also
Chris.
Another funny thing, we both do voices for robot models. You do the Assaultron voices, and I do the Protectrons.
We're also in an abundance of scenes together, which is very funny because there are times where there are scenes where it literally is just myself and Chris.
But we have 3 or 4 characters.
There's like four. Yeah. There's like 4 characters. Especially we get Paul, Ares, and Red into a scene together.
And Reverend Paul, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how it rolls sometimes. But I guess we've talked about who we are and we've talked about who we voice. Let's, I guess, go ahead and get into how we got involved in this crazy little world that is MODUS.
Yeah, you go right on ahead there, Krissi. I know you have a fun story. Yes.
Okay. So I've been doing voice acting more or less for about 3.5, maybe 4 years. I had an actual play podcast and decided to audition for a part in an audio drama to try to leverage their audience to build my own show, and ended up realizing I really loved it. And in that process, I got involved in a lot of discords for various audio dramas just to learn the craft, right? And in that process, I met Brad, who does our voice of MODUS. And he and I talked quite often about podcasting stuff and audio drama stuff and whatnot. And I pretty much live on Discord. I work from home, so it's my adult interaction. And funny enough, one day I'm sitting there and I get a DM from somebody I don't know. Now, I'm a woman on the internet. I don't accept DMs from men I don't know. Just period. Like, it's, especially way back then, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, absolutely not. And immediately deleted it. And like 2 seconds later, I get a message from Brad and he's like, hey, a friend of mine's going to reach out to you about auditioning for a part. And that's the story of me blocking Lawrence on Discord because I didn't know him. And of course, immediately I was like, oh my God, please tell this person to try again. That's my bad. I didn't mean to block him. So I've learned to not block right away. But yeah, so Lawrence reached out to me, asked me to audition for Red, and I did. And it was my first real audition, and I was so extremely nervous. I even talked about it in therapy because I was like, I did my lines. He was like, yeah, it's great, but if you could just maybe take it this way. And my immediate reaction was to be like, oh God, he hates me. And I was panicky, so I had to talk to my therapist about it, and she talked me through it. And Lawrence ended up giving me the script for Red's bedtime story. And if you haven't listened to that episode, I mean, toot my own horn, I would say listen to it because I think it's pretty fantastic. It is literally just myself and a little bit of the operative talking to Red. But it's her background story, and her story resonated so well with me that I was like, oh yeah, no, if I don't get this character, I'll be devastated. And of course, even before he cast me or told me I had the part, he started sending me like fan art of Red. This is what she looks like. This is what she dresses like. And then he would send me pictures of her character from the video game. And at that point, I did not play Fallout at all. So, like, I didn't have a lot of context. But, like, I was like, oh, no, I'm in. You don't understand. Please cast me to be Red, because I want to be her. And immediately embodied her, in my own opinion. Like, she speaks to my soul in a way. And there are a few characters I've played that way where I'm like, once I had them, I'm like, no, this character's mine now. I know she was your IP, but she is my baby now. And Red is definitely, truly one of those characters. I even cosplay as her. So, and then I now do play Fallout 76, and my character is literally Red. I haven't changed her up at all. Not a lick. She's going to be Red, except for she has purple hair in my game because, you know, I have blue and purple hair, and you can't have both, so I had to pick one. But yeah, and that's kind of how I got into it. I'm in 5 or 6 different shows. Right at the moment, I just have 3 that I'm mainly in, and that's MODUS Files, of course. There's Omega Star 7, which is a space drama, and then another show called No Return, which was a D&D campaign turned into an audio drama. So it's a what is the word I'm looking for? He made the world up. It's not a standard world in D&D, so it's a very unique story that I'm both the bad guy and a good guy in. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm also in another one called The Wizard Scrolls. It's very juvenile male humor, but it's fun. And in that one, I'm the bad guy and the good guy also. So those are fun. And we'll put some of this probably in the show notes, but I also, find me if you want. If not, it's okay too. But that's how I got into all this craziness.
All right. Well,
Your turn.
Yeah, that's my turn now.
All right, it's my nose.
Oh, wow. So as many of you may know from my advertisements that I've run in the episodes, I had a sketch comedy program on YouTube called One Wall Comedy, and I had created a Twitter for that. And over time, as I have long been a fan of Fallout, so naturally I've been playing 76 since the beta, and I had a character that I had up into like the level 300 or 400s, and then I kind of got out of playing for a while, but I came back through camp building. And so, long story short here, is I clicked like on one tweet that came out from a Fallout camp builder. And so eventually I started getting tweets about Fallout 76. And one day I saw a tweet from Lawrence. I was asking for anyone who would be interested in doing a bit part in an episode. I've always wanted to voice act, so I responded, and so in the Blood Eagle War, I came in as a little bit part of a Blood Eagle named Bugs, who gets killed by Lilith very shortly after his first little appearance there. And that was cool. That was my first time ever doing anything like that. And then sometime later, Lawrence came back to me because we had talked a little bit and played a little bit of Fallout. He had seen some of my show and known that I like to do voices and characters in different ways. And so he asked me how well I thought I could do Ares. And it turns out that's pretty damn well. So that kind of cemented a long-term part for me. And then, I think that real turning point was Balticon. The three of us, we met.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that we should bring that up next. I was talking about how you got into it.
We'll get there, because that's pretty big, and that's special for us, and so I made this friendship with Lawrence and Krissi, and that evolved into me getting to help out with more of the writing of the upcoming episodes, and eventually to the part where I got to do a little bit of editing. And then I did a little episode called Jesse Desi Blaine. And now I've just put out my third special episode for the show, with a fourth in the works, and helped out with some sound design on some recent episodes here, along with the very gracious help of Krissi, who's much better at some things than I certainly am. And yeah, just being part of this family and starting out as just someone dipping their toes in a cast capacity to being on this production team now and making things happen for our community as a whole. That's a great way to join a production.
Wow. I mean, you know, and there's mad props to Lawrence for having managed a lot of this on his own for a very long time. And he's had people come and go who've helped with various things. But genuinely having a production team to work on things with can alleviate. And we're trying. God love that man. We're trying to take more off his shoulders. And we're getting there. But yeah, Chris isn't wrong. I think it was March of 2023. I had recently separated from my husband. And I was going through a lot of things and kind of leaned really heavy into my audio drama community just to get me through the days. And it occurred to me that there was this con called Balticon, which is in Baltimore, that I had been eyeballing for years. And I just never got up there because mom and wife and all that just makes it difficult. And so that year I was like, man, there's no reason I can't go. Like, it's a week I don't have my kids. I could drive up there if I need to, but I might be able to fly. Who knows? And so on a whim, I reached out to Lawrence because he is in that general area. And I was like, hey, would you want to meet me at this con? And he agreed. Long story short, Chris also ended up getting to come to this con randomly through another source. And we were all on the Discord talking, and Chris chimes in. He's like, hey, who's heading to Balticon? I was like, wait a minute, you're heading to Balticon? How about them apples? And so I like to meet people. This is the thing about me. I love people. And so, of course, immediately was like, yes, we have to meet up and stuff like that. So I hung out with Lawrence and Chris that entire weekend. And yeah, I think from that point on, we've been pretty much inseparable, right? Like, yeah. And like Chris said, we have gotten more and more involved in the actual production of the show. Excuse me. I help. I always laugh. I was like, I'm a muse. I don't write. I just inspire ideas. Mostly because I get so excited about the story, I start to ask questions, which makes the writer start to think about how he wants to see the story go. It's really, I think it's just my exuberance that is it more than anything. Because I did it with my other shows too, where I'm like, wait, but then what happened? And they're like, huh. Well, what if I? Yeah. You know. So it's just it's a funny association. So I don't write at the present moment, but then Chris, basically what happens is we game at night. Yes. And we make jokes and we make voices, and every now and then we'll be like, you know what would be funny? It would be funny if Valeria did X, Y, and Z. And then the next thing you know, we have this idea for this whole other story that doesn't have anything to do with MODUS Files. And that is where Chris's amazing stories have come into play. And each time, well, I mean, and each time they come out, they're just delightful. They're fun. I like Halloween episodes for TV shows, so that would explain why I enjoy them. But yeah, that process. In fact, I leave in the morning to New York to accept one of our awards that we've received this year with Lawrence, and it'll be really great because I haven't seen him in 9 months, and that'll be nice to get to see him in person again. Because usually it's just the screen, like right now. But yeah, it's been really nice to get to meet these guys at various events, and we're working on something for next year. Yes, that could be really big, and we're really hopeful that we can get it together. But if we do, you guys will know all about it, and it would be open to everybody once we figure out the details for it. But it would be an in-person thing. Oh yes. Hopefully, everybody cross your fingers and hope we can pull it off. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead. The whole point of this was to talk about what we love about Fallout, right? Yeah. So you have been playing way longer than I have. So why don't you take away? Because I'm not going to have a whole lot to say here. Well, I mean, Fallout is creativity to me. Wow. Hello, Chris. Fallout is creativity to me. He speaks real good. Yeah, I'll talk oil. Yeah, first and foremost, it's creativity. Hands down. Since I had the opportunity to watch others play Fallout 2 at one time. I didn't own a gaming PC for a very, very long time. And so I started getting interested in the franchise, especially just for the lore and the look and the feel. And then Fallout 3 came out.
And I think I finally broke down to try it because it was a platinum game. So it was only $20. So I did that. And that's where I discovered how creative with build systems these games let you be. And so that started getting me more interested in Fallout. Of course, New Vegas, and then Fallout 4. Fallout 4 introduced the settlement building system, which later evolved into the camp building system of 76. And I got interested in the camp building a lot. And over my years of playing 76, I think I've gotten pretty decent at it.
He has bad building skills, y'all. It's man. He built my camp.
I did build her camp. Yes. Your floating houseboat.
I do. Red has a houseboat on the lake. It's great.
And really more, it's become about family. The family we choose. Because, we've talked about that, the Balticon, the progression of our friendship and working relationship from there. Fallout's giving me this show, this program. It's giving me great people like Lawrence, or my absolute best friend in the world, Krissi here. It's brought people into my life that I would not have met otherwise. And it's given me that. And so those two things, man, that's one hell of a knockout combination for me. How about you there? Only been playing the game for, what, a year and a half?
Yeah, so I've been aware of Fallout. My ex-husband played it. He's a video gamer as well. In fact, I remember, I'm going to get it wrong, and you guys are going to totally school me. Is it 3 that takes place in DC?
Yes.
Okay, so I remember when he bought that because it takes place where I grew up. And I was very excited when he was playing it. I'd watch it over his shoulder and be all excited about places I recognized. But I never played it. Part of that was a combination of just, I think at the time I was just into different kind of games. And then I became a mom. And, motherhood and video games don't go together easily. And that just wasn't the route I was going at the time. And then my kids got to an age where they were big enough and old enough again that I started being like, I'm into things again. I'm a human being. And that's when I got into the podcasting and audio dramas and stuff like that. And then I got involved with this show specifically. And so that's how I got into this sort of stuff. And when I got into the show, I was like, well, I need to know about the show's storyline. If nothing else, I need to know about the basis of Fallout. I'm a huge fan of, I don't like actors who play nerdy type characters and don't understand their fandom at all. That's always bothered me. I don't know why, it just does. But then also I'm a nerd. So I'm like, well, this is a new nerddom I'm not familiar with. That doesn't mean I can't get into it. And so I tried playing Fallout on the PlayStation 4 that a friend of mine gave me. And I played for like a hot minute. I think I played long enough to play with this one young fella who was part of the theater group. I can't recall his name, though. That was a couple years ago. And he took me out of the vault, basically. I came out of the vault, and he took me down to the Wayward. That was the extent of our interactions, and that was fun. I was very nervous to be on an MMO for the first time in a very long time as a woman on the internet. And so I did it, and I was very proud of myself. And then Brad took me through a rad rumble. I remember this. I think I was level 5. And he was like, just follow me. And then all of a sudden, I'm totally Ruby Rod, screaming because there's shit coming at me from every direction. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I went from 5 to like 35 in one game. It was great. And then I went a while without playing. And then I met Chris and Lawrence and the MODUS people. And so I was like, okay, let me play it here. And but I didn't have an Xbox, and they all play on the Xbox. And so I put on Twitter, if my fans wanted to buy me an Xbox, that would be sweet. And they did. And so I got an Xbox. And yeah, I started playing late July of last year. And I just hit 716 this morning. And so I get up in the mornings, do my dailies, and we usually play at night. We have not been playing as much the last couple of months just because life gets in the way. But Fallout specifically, and Lawrence and Chris and Eric and quite a few of our other castmates have been there for me during the hardest year of my life. Getting divorced after 23 years at 45 is not a fun thing to go through, and having these people to count on to be there for you. Even on a sad day, they'd be like, well, just come on if you just want to. And I would just sit in the White Spring and I wouldn't do anything, but they would talk to me, and that was enough on some nights. And so Chris is absolutely right. It is about the community and the family that you've built there, and specifically our Modus family. We have some of the greatest fans. They get on these little tirades about storyline stuff, and it's absolutely precious, to the point where sometimes I'm afraid to chime in because I feel like my chiming in might ruin the moment, because it's fans talking to each other. And I don't want to chime in as the actor. No, let me hear what you have to say.
# join the MODUS Files fan Discord.
Yeah. We should definitely have that in the notes too, because yes, we have a lot of fun in the fan Discord. We talk about everything, but we talk Fallout a lot. But
I host bad movie nights.
Yes, those are the best. Yes. We just had one last Saturday. I missed it, but good bad movie. But yeah, we try to stay as involved as we can with our fandom. With our community as we possibly can, because we do. We can't. There's no point. We do this for us. It really, in the big scheme of things, we do it for us. We're telling a story we love and we enjoy doing it, but getting to share that with other people who also enjoy it is just beautiful, and makes it all the more worthwhile. We always joke we're like actors, am I right? Because we love the attention. That's why we do it. But
it's a little ego for us,
Yeah. We don't mean to. We're very nice people.
Honestly.
But yeah, it's just, this has been such a, again, I've been in several shows, and this has just been the most beautiful, vibrant experience of all of them that I've had. And they're all great. All of the shows I'm in are really lovely, and they have great communities, but this one's just so big and close and talk, like you said, we have movie nights. If I were tonight being like, hey guys, I'm sad, does anybody want to hop on Discord? I can guarantee 3 or 4 people would hop on and be there. We had one of our people, everybody has moments and they need support, and we're there for each other. And that's frankly the best part of it for me.
Yeah, that's great. It really is.
It's been a really beautiful experience for all of us, I think. And I'm really excited for the growth that we are looking to do.
Yeah.
We got some awards this year. So I do the website. And I apologize for that because I should be better at it. But I am a mom with full-time job, and I do this stuff for my hobby. So sometimes it just gets away from you.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to offer to be a volunteer, take your offers. But yeah, we need to add the awards we got this year, because we got 2 last year. We just got 4 last month. And so, and I think we're near 300,000 downloads, imminently, and we're just growing leaps and bounds and trying to figure out other ways that we can expand on that. More than just the story, but are there other stories we can tell? This story is currently coming to an end, and we do have plans for what's next, but that evolves every day when we come up with new ideas. So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes and what we do with it. And then also, that spawns other things. Chris and I have a project we've been sitting on for quite a while that we need to get our butts into gear and make happen.
She means my butt.
I do. It's true. But also, I could be more proactive. But, also, we are all just volunteers doing this. Ain't nobody getting paid, guys.
Can't stress enough. This is our hobby. We are doing this for the fun and joy of doing it.
Don't get me wrong. Y'all want to pay me. My email address is... I'm just...
Yeah. Hashtag MODUS Files Patreon. Hashtag... No, I'm kidding.
But you should join. You should join our Patreon if you haven't. You get extra stuff and you get early access. And our plan is to expand on that. We just... haven't had a chance to put our brain powers to it, but every day we have new ideas.
It's just a matter of implementing them.
You never know what we'll find to add to it. But yeah, this has been a beautiful experience for me. I never saw this coming. I put all my eggs in a different basket and was like, this will be the basket. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, what about that cute little basket over there with red hair and horns? I kind of like that one. She has a pet death claw. That's amazing.
Yes.
So, yeah, with that being said, we always welcome anybody to reach out to us, whether it is on Discord, if you join us. If we are no longer currently residing on Twitter, so you won't be able to contact us there. We do have a placeholder, but we are not actively there. But we are on Blue Sky, the MODUS Files. You can find us. And of course, we have a website, themodusfiles.com, and all the other ways that you can find us. So, but yeah, best way is to reach us at Discord, because we'll totally talk to you for real.
Please join in. It's a lot of
You'll
fun.
find out what Chris made for dinner tonight.
That's right. Yep.
This is how we be.
This is what we do.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add?
I mean, I can't really add on to that. I can only echo it. It's the truth. We love our little community that we have here, and it's starting to not be little anymore.
It's kind of weird. We gained quite a few followers into the Discord, and sometimes it gets kind of noisy. I've had meetings a couple times during this interview.
We love being there for people,
Yeah.
as much as we can. We're only human still.
We are only.
We have limitations. We all have very full adult lives too. We all work full time. Lawrence and Krissi have kids. I have 2 annoying cats. But we all love doing this, and that's why we dedicate so much of our actual free time, and sometimes not our free time. Sometimes we'll sacrifice other things to make sure stuff is happening for this.
I have
program.
recorded on vacation. It is true.
Yeah. We do what we have to do to make sure that we're bringing the best we can to you, and we love how supportive you all are. We love the fact that you are so gracious and kind and just so passionate and vocal about this show that we do. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is always the same. We couldn't do this without you.
100%.
And we definitely wouldn't be able to do any of this without Lawrence, because he created the playground that we get to play in.
Oh, yes.
I can't wait to see where this story ends, because I know, but it's still different to see it on paper and to read it and be like, oh, I really am going to do that. Okay. Okay, great. Let's go. Here
and then details change.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they change back, and then sometimes they change again. Yeah.
There's speculations on some upcoming deaths that may or may not happen, and so it changes by.
They'll probably mostly be me.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you're 80% of the cast, you're gonna die.
That's true. Yeah.
Statistically speaking, the good news is I don't die, because he just can't kill Red. Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
That would be the ultimate story, wouldn't it? She makes it all the way to the end. No, who knows? But now I am just rambling. So
I think that's the point where we thank y'all for listening to this.
Yeah, and we really do appreciate every one of y'all.
And we can't wait to show you what's next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris. And I'm not. We're not doing that routine right now. We're trying to do an advertisement. Oh, fine. I'm Sir Aloysius Pernicious, the better half of the team at One Wall Comedy. Okay, I wouldn't go that far. Anyway, come check us out on YouTube. We're your #1 source for independent sketch comedy on the internet. Yeah, 'cause that's such a big market. All right, come on. Let's get out of here. I'm getting paid for this, right? Don't push your luck.
Thank you again, members, for joining us here on the MODUS Files. If you've enjoyed this content, please subscribe, and better yet, please leave a review to help others find our little enclave. You can also follow us on our various social media accounts, including Blue Sky and Instagram, at MODUS Files or MODUS Files Podcast, for more information about our story and characters, Fallout 76 content, and random musings on the Enclave. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support our work and receive special benefits like early access to episodes, original scripts, and special events with our cast. A link to our Patreon can be found at modusfiles.com. We hope you've enjoyed this second episode in our limited series, Behind the Characters, and we look forward to many more, where you'll get to know the voice actors behind all of the characters you followed throughout our story. We'd also like to thank our cast, Krissi Williams as Trader Red, Chris Smith as Way Too Many Characters to Count, and Brad Williams as the voice of Modus. Thank you again to the entire community. We appreciate all your support. Stay tuned for our next Season 3 full episode, Sodus. Lastly, thank you to all of our subscribers and supporters. God bless the Enclave, and God bless America.
Members, we look forward to your next visit to our little enclave.